There we go. Morning, everyone. Welcome to Cardano Q&A. And today we are on. Next week we're not. So anybody catching up with this, we're not on next week. So join us the week after. And today I haven't got a lot prepared, so I'm just up for any questions anybody has. We can talk and look around at things. One thing that came up just before I started recording was checking now that the voting snapshot was done last week or the week before, even was it? We can check our voting power in the tools that we have available to us. So perhaps just do that as a little quick exercise.
The voting snapshot will be done today, isn't it?
The voting snapshot was done last week. So that's why we had to rush to get it done. So it was on the 18th at 9 or 10 p.m. UK, 9 p.m. UTC. So our voting power is set now. We can't change it for this fund. Eric's joining us. But the way to check your voting power, morning Eric, is to go to, the best way to do it is to go to your voting app, which I can then join from my phone if I do that. I'll need to log out of that Zoom app to add it into this one. Out. In your app, actually, probably show you on the screen as well. I'll get the video going. Put it together into a blog post. So in the app, you can get to this screen here, click on help and support, and then this little copy icon for your wallet ID. Then you need to get that onto your, actually you can check it from your phone as well. There's meeting ID. Where have they buried the meeting ID? In the phone, yeah. About this. Do the hoops. Oh, I took it again. that's going to work. So basically, once you've got that meeting ID, wallet ID, sorry, onto your clipboard or copied over to your computer, and then you can go to AdaStat. So if you're looking at it on mobile, it will look like this. Emulate. You go to adastat.net. And then under the search in there, you can drop in the wallet ID from your. I've got a copy of mine here.
Sorry, Jonathan, I'm a bit confused here. Is this mobile phone or is desktop? Because you see, I can see adastat.net in a desktop, and I can see blue screen. Is that your mobile or?
So this is a mobile emulator on the desktop. It's both. Just so that I could show you what it would look like on mobile, because it's easier to copy the wallet ID from mobile, because you have to use the voting app, which is only available on mobile at the moment.
Okay.
And then once you've got that wallet ID, you can copy it over and paste it into the browser on mobile, which will look something like that.
Oh, that's so where did you get that particular the screen? Because did you want to?
So on your mobile phone,
You went help and support.
Help and support, yeah. And then click that little copy icon to get the wallet ID.
Yeah.
And then over in adastat.net, you click the search button first.
Okay.
And then drop your wallet ID in there. And you can do all that from the mobile. That's the easiest way to do it. And it'll show you your captured voting power.
Okay.
And that's the best way to do it, really, because you don't share any private information. The only private information you do have in this process that I'm avoiding showing is so this string that I just copied and pasted. You can see part of it here. That is your voting key, and if anybody gets hold of that, then they can actually cast votes on your behalf. So you don't want to be sharing that around. Also, the QR code in your voting app. Actually, it won't be in your voting app. It'll be in your wallet. That is also a version of that code, that hash code. So you don't want to share that around either. So now that the voting snapshot's been done, you want to keep that secure right up until the point of voting. So don't share it around. There we go. Any other questions on Catalyst or voting? Did everybody manage to get there?
Quick question, Jonathan.
Yeah.
So when you say keep that code safe, if somebody does get hold of the code, what does that mean? Does it give them the voting power, or what does it mean?
Yeah. So in essence, they could carry out votes on your behalf. You'll still be able to vote as well, but they can use your if they had your device, then they could certainly just vote with that straight away. If they have your hash code, then they can they'd also need your PIN that you set up when you created your QR code, your voting QR code. So they would need the PIN number as well as the hash code itself, but they could actually then place votes on your behalf from any of their devices. So if you've managed to keep your PIN safe, then you're reasonably secure still. But yeah, the hash code is actually containing the key in it as well. So I think if you wanted to register for voting, so like it was particularly vulnerable before the snapshot was taken, or particularly vulnerable. So before the snapshot was taken, they could, if they saw your QR code, then they could actually re-register, extract from that your voting key, and then use that to re-register with a new PIN and actually carry out voting on your behalf. If, though, before the snapshot was taken, then you subsequently re-registered your wallets with a new voting key, then that secured it again with you. So it's almost like the last one on chain, the last voting key registered on chain before the snapshot's taken is the one that has the power and the authority. So long as you're the last one to do that before the snapshot's taken, then you're fine. After the snapshot, they would need to have that QR code, that hash code, and the PIN that you use to register that QR code in the wallet. So you are okay now. They can't re-register on chain and set up a new PIN or anything. But yeah, this whole area of the voting system is being or proposed to be reworked a little bit. The Catalyst team has a new architect on board who's wants to put in a new Cardano improvement proposal to actually change some of the metadata around the voting process, and this will give us role-based access control for voting, and that will open up the ability to create concurrent votes on various proposals. So you could actually have so in theory, what we could do is have like a fluid pool vote. So we might hold a vote for, say we propose, okay, let's change the charity we're giving to as a pool from the current one to these 5 options, and then we could hold a vote for anybody who's a delegated to the pool as to which charity we wanted to give to next. And that we could actually use the Catalyst architecture to put that proposal together and set up our own unique voting system, which would still operate on the same, or even it could operate on the same basis as snapshotting our voting, our ADA holdings from our wallets at a particular point in time. That determines how much you're voting for, or we could add in additional parameters. And I was discussing this with the team on Wednesday in the after town hall. You can add additional parameters like how long you've been delegated to a pool might increase your voting power. So the OGs get a bit more vote power, even if they don't hold as much ADA as the latest guys in. And you can do all sorts of custom parameters on determining your vote power around that. And that's certainly something I'd like to be experimenting with down the road for the pool. And so this restructuring of the data, the metadata around the voting keys is going to be proposed in a Cardano improvement proposal. I believe certainly the architect's been encouraged to put it in there. He'll probably get one of his team to do it for him, I imagine, but that would be a healthy progression from where we are currently with the voting system to a new one. There's all sorts of, so when you're in a process like this and you're designing a new technical layer on something that's completely brand new, like blockchain, there's all sorts of decisions that you make at any point in that cycle that then you review later and have to upgrade and move on from. So this one of the things in this is that you have in the metadata around the voting registration, you have a position which is just stores an integer. And so at the moment, if it's a Catalyst vote, then they have position 0, I think it's called, set up. So if you wanted to do a new voting registration, so for a stake pool, change, parameter change, or charity pools, donation change, then you'd have a new position integer. But of course, there's nothing stopping everybody using the same integer and then having the snapshots overrule and overvote each other. So you really want to keep those distinct. So the proposal is to change that to a UUID, which is a unique code that then would be stored on chain, and anybody who used that particular code would be the same, but would be a bit more useful than just having an integer, 0, 1, 2, 3, where nobody knows what that actually relates to. You'd actually have a UUID, which would have a lookup table that would actually show you the proposal it was pinned to. There's all sorts of things like that that can come along. So interesting if you're a geek and want to see how the start of our new governance layer in Cardano is being spec'd and built and battle tested before it hits the whole Cardano ecosystem rather than just the Catalyst one. Certainly interesting things for me. Any other questions? Does that cover it, Dinesh?
Jonathan, I've
Yeah,
got a
that's fine.
question.
Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, go ahead, Eric.
I've got a question I tried to ask you before about the A starter. Do you have any information or news about A starter?
Nothing new since last time. They are. I did actually put it into the recording, so you didn't hear it. That's right. You had to leave before I got to your question. So I did cover it last week, but I'll say again. So we have a beta test for their DEX, for the decentralized exchange, and that is opening up to a public test now. It was a private beta before, but it's going to open up to a public one. I can never remember the link for it. That one, that place, I don't. No, I think it was this. Was it DEX? Stop. Yeah, cool. So yeah, effectively this is a decentralized exchange, so you can carry out trades and so on and so forth. And at the moment it's in test, so these are real tokens on mainnet. But so any swaps you actually do or carry out on this platform will happen on the mainnet of Cardano blockchain. I think that it was restricted just to people who had whitelisted wallets. So we could try, I think it might be in this wallet. Could try a quick attempt with my wallet. If you do come and try it out, it'll tell you whether you are whitelisted. So it's flashed up at the top initially. Sorry, you're not whitelisted on a yellow bar. But then that's gone away because it's found my registration. So I'm actually able to use this platform now. If you try it, then it might end up with just saying, sorry, you're not on the whitelist. But at some point soon, there'll be a public, they'll just open up to everybody. And that's significant because that's one of the things we're waiting for, really, is to have this platform ready for launch. The AA token is kind of needs some use case. They don't want to just launch a token and throw it out there. They want to have the sort of conditions right for it. One of which I think is to have the USDA, the stable coin that Emergo are working on. Emergo is one of the founding entities of Cardano. So you've got IOG, Emergo, and Cardano Foundation. Emergo are backing this development team, the A starter team, to build out the decentralized exchange. Emergo are launching the USDA stablecoin. that's been put on hold because they want to make sure that they get the regulatory conditions correct to appease the SEC, etc. And because the SEC has been going after stablecoins this year, they've held off launching. One of the main locations for the USDA token, I think, is going to be providing liquidity on this DEX. So we've kind of got a couple of chicken and egg conditions. The DEX needs to be ready. It wants to launch with the USDA token. The USDA token isn't launching until the SEC regulations are sorted out. And so we've kind of got this chain of things that we need to see done first. However, once this is in public beta, I think maybe that they'll launch it anyway, so you can still trade in the other tokens, but they will want the AA token on there. So I think that may just then prompt them to actually do the token generation event for the AA token, which is then we'll start getting our allocation and things like that. And the AA token can be put onto this platform as one of the swapping tokens. So at the moment, there's only other native tokens, and you've got this test AA token. So that'll effectively become the official AA token. I'll have a logo probably like that, but in color, and that will be the official AA token that then we'll start to be able to see represented with the real on-chain price and markets and trading and so forth. The only interaction we can have with the A starter project at the moment is to participate in their ISPO, which we are doing already.
Mm-hmm. That's why I put money down.
So the money you put down, you took part in the pre-token sale, didn't you? So it wasn't Yes. So the pre-token sale is being able to buy the token before it's actually been generated, which is what we've done together. The ISPO is slightly different. So the ISPO is an initial stake pool offering. So effectively, they tie the distribution of the token to a stake pool, which we are doing as well. But they've launched a partner pool program as well as their own independent pool program. So if you're, is that the right URL? I think it might be your. If you have their, if you're holding ADA and you are staked to the A starter AA1 pool, which is this one here, then that's actually starting to collect. And it's not doing it on chain, it's just collecting the data around who's been delegated for how long. Sorry, that data is on chain, but they're not issuing the AA token yet because it hasn't been generated still. But if you are delegated to the AA1 pool, then they are accruing the AA token for those delegators. So 322 delegates are with the AA1 pool. When we come into action, will be with the merge staking offering, which is another part of their A starter ISPO, which is this the metric. So you've got the transition. It launched in September last year, stage 1, and then there's stage 2, March 2023. So that was the start of the AA1 pool.
Is that the one I invested in with you or through you?
So no, ours is stage. Is that the same slide again? It is. So they've only got 2 slides up here. So the merge staking details are somewhere, which is where you can be delegated to Fluid Pool.
I did.
Can't find the date for it.
Well, I invested in January and also staked the same time.
Yes.
In Fluid.
Yeah. So certainly, since then you've been earning ADA from your ADA holdings, the money you put into the AA token is going to come to you back in the form of AA tokens. But because they haven't done the token generation event yet, that won't come to you. However, you are.
Do you win?
No, that's the unknown still. So that's what the race condition is between the stablecoin launch, the DEX launch. All that's been pushed back this year because of regulatory changes. So they're not going to launch the AA token until they're confident. So I think they've been waiting for the USDA token to launch, which still is in limbo. But the DEX is now ready, so I think they'll probably launch the DEX and do the AA token launch at the same time. But they haven't announced any dates yet. What I'm talking about now is the ISPO, which is the other method of earning through the token pre-launch that we got involved in. So we've got the staking going on already. Then the merge staking starts, and that's the date I was just trying to find, and that's where we will actually start to have AA tokens, additional AA tokens allocated to us. That we will then receive once the token generation event happens. But I didn't know when that merge staking starts. Sorry?
What about the ADA staking? Where and when would I get?
You'll be getting that already. So if you
on Daedalus?
Yeah. So if you've got Daedalus, if you look under I haven't used Daedalus for a long time, but if you look under the staking tab, I think it is. Let me find a screenshot of Daedalus.
But I can't start it because it takes hours.
Yeah, no, it does. So what you can, I mean, the wallet that you have with Daedalus, you can open it up in a light wallet as well. So you can open it up in Eternal wallet, and then you don't have to wait for the full node to sync up each time, because Daedalus does take a long time to get started.
Yeah, it takes a few hours.
But if you take your seed phrase and load it into Eternal wallet,
okay,
then that will give you a light wallet version as well. So you can interact without the long startup time at all.
Okay, we'll try that.
That's certainly what I do. So I've got a video in the archive that walks through that process, and certainly we do it. We touch on it quite regularly, so I can go over that. Let me just find. So if you did get Daedalus up and running, I think it's this cloud looking one. If you look under there, and then click the rewards. So I'm gonna get this open into it. Yep. So in Daedalus, you click on here, and then you click on rewards tab, and under that rewards tab, it will show you the ADA that you've earned from Fluid Pool.
Okay.
Since you started staking. The other way to do it is to get Eternal wallet going. So to do that, you would go to eternal.io. Find the chat as well. And then, why is that not loaded? Oh, their website was down, wasn't it?
No, I can get it.
You're seeing a website, are you?
Yeah, Eternal.
Okay, cool.
Cardano like wallet.
Yeah, perfect. Don't know why I'm not seeing it. Let me try and Firefox quickly. Because that happened to me last week as well. I wonder if it's a problem with my cookies or it's actually a site problem. Let's do a bit of live investigation. that looks better. Okay, so it's just a problem with Brave. So yeah, in Eternal, you would come to here. Then you want to go to the Chrome web store to download the wallet. So this looks like exactly like the wallet and can function as a wallet, but you don't want to use this. You want to make sure you get the browser extension. And the important thing it's important to get the browser extension because that keeps all the data just on your local machine. If you're using the website, then you're talking to a third-party server that's out on the internet. So you just want to use it on your local machine. So you get the wallet. So you'll need to use Google Chrome or Brave browser to get the browser extension.
Like MetaMask, similar like MetaMask then.
Yes, exactly like that. MetaMask. Always use the browser extensions, not the websites. This is in Firefox. So
then I should send my Daedalus funds to Eternal, or just use Eternal to see them on Daedalus?
Exactly. So you'll be using Eternal to see them on Daedalus. So that's the one thing to try and get your head around, is that the wallets are just a user interface onto your actual holdings. The blockchain holds your actual ADA and your other tokens. The wallet's just a way of looking at and then writing to the data. So you can use Eternal, you can use Daedalus, you can use the Yoroi, Giro, Typhon, Flint. You can use all those wallets to look at the same place on the blockchain and make changes. But none of them has authority over it unless you've put the keys in. So the seed phrase is what unlocks a wallet to then be able to make changes to the blockchain. So you can use your keys with any lock that you choose, if you can think of it like that. So you can unlock Eternal to be able to talk to the blockchain, which is where your holdings are, or you can unlock Daedalus to talk to the blockchain, which is why it's so important to never lose your seed phrase. It's the keys to the kingdom, and anybody gets hold of the seed phrase can then use any lock that they want to access your holdings.
Would it also make sense to use the ADAs and put them on the ledger instead of Daedalus?
I think Daedalus and Eternal both have hardware wallet support. So have a seed phrase and the keys stored on your hardware wallet to then access it. What you'll probably need to do though is for that instance, you probably need to set up a new wallet. So in Eternal, you would come into here. Are you using your hardware wallet with Daedalus already?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. So in Daedalus or in Eternal, you can come in and create a wallet. Sorry, not create wallet. Click hardware wallet. And that will then let you
go into the ledger.
You've got a ledger, okay. Then you go through to next. You'd be creating one account. That's how I tend to do it. You can have multiple accounts under that one thing, which I suppose with a hardware wallet you might want to do. Click save, and then you will be connecting to your ledger device to actually create the keys for that wallet. So I don't have a ledger, so I can't go any further than this, but that will then give you a wallet in here. Like, so here I've got my staked ADA and my Tom wallet. They would then actually be controlled using your hardware wallet. So every time you wanted to sign a transaction, you'd be using your ledger, same as you do with MetaMask and so on.
Yeah.
Then because you've got a hot wallet in Daedalus already, but that isn't using your hardware wallet, you would send the funds. So you boot up Daedalus, or actually you can do it in Eternal as well. So if you don't want to get Daedalus running again, you can actually just move the funds out of your Daedalus wallet into your new hardware powered Eternal wallet by loading up your seed phrase into a wallet on here. So again, you do add wallet, and then here you do restore wallet, and this will be to create your Daedalus, a hot wallet version, a soft wallet version of a light wallet version of your Daedalus. So you go to restore wallet, and then you would, I don't know how long ago you created that wallet. If it was
Daedalus is a long time ago.
if it was a couple of years, then it might be a 15 words seed phrase. If it was within the last 18 months, something like that, I think it'll be.
It was a 24 words, I guess. Yeah,
it's 24 words. Okay.
Yeah.
So then you click next, and then you get the option to type in your seed phrase.
Yeah. But does it make sense having Daedalus and Ledger? Can I not just use Ledger?
So
You have two wallets behind each other.
so the way I understand it, because I don't have a Ledger device, you can either hold. So in both scenarios, you're holding the seed phrase, the keys, on the Ledger, and you can actually interact with other wallets using your Ledger as the key to sign any transactions, and that's just as secure as if you were only using the Ledger to pay for things. So I think in fact now you can connect Ledger Live directly to Cardano applications. So you then wouldn't need to use Eternal or Daedalus. You can then just use your Ledger. I don't know how wide that support is yet, because I think that the Cardano side of things has only just been done. So it requires, I think this is right, I think it requires the applications to, so if you're interacting with like Muesli Swap, then you would need to connect a wallet, and in that list you would have to see Ledger being an offering here. And I don't know if there are any apps that are doing it yet, because the integration with Ledger Live has only just happened, only just been completed. It was a Project Catalyst funded initiative, and the development team had a whole load of problems. They had to restart, and they ran out of budget, but they carried on working anyway and delivered it finally this last couple of weeks. But now, yeah, you can actually just use Ledger Live, but it's not an offering on here, so I don't know if that will work for most applications. However, it does offer Eternal, for example. So what you can do is have a Ledger powered wallet in Eternal, and then you can use Eternal to connect to the applications and use your Ledger to sign for transactions in those applications. So again, to do that, what you would, and that way you'd have the benefit of having a hardware device storing your keys, but still being able to interact with any application on Cardano. And so, and the funds that you have in your Daedalus wallet already, you can move over into that new hardware wallet.
Would I have to mention that because of staking?
So once you've created the new wallet with the hardware wallet access, with the hardware wallet set up, then you'll need to stake that wallet with Fluid Pool again. And in fact, it's worth doing is doing that portion of the exercise first. So you will create your hardware wallet in Eternal. Once you've done that part of the process, you'll see the new wallet listed in here. So so you might add one in called Eric. I don't know what you're going to call it. And then you click on Eric, you go to the staking tab. You can search in here for the pool, whichever pool you chose. If you wanted AA1 pool, you could do that even, or you can search for fluid pool.
It was fluid.
And then you'll see it listed down here, and then you'll have on here a delegate button. So it'd be like this one. This is the fluid tokens, which is not me. That's another project. But that delegate button is what you would want to click on for fluid pool. So that's my logo. You look for that.
Mm-hmm.
Click delegate, and then it would ask you to sign the transaction with your ledger device.
Okay.
And then that will
Authorize.
That'll authorize, your ledger wallet to then be staked with fluid pool. And then I would leave it for a minimum of 5 days, 10 days preferably, because it depends where the changeover is, because it takes once you register a pool, a delegation to a pool, the current epoch that you're in, you're not delegated at that point. You only get delegated in the following epoch.
The next one.
Yeah. And then you start earning rewards in the epoch after that.
Mm-hmm.
So with your setup, I would register your hardware wallet, delegate with it there, wait for the next epoch to actually finish, and that way you'll have a full epoch to collect from which will go into your old Daedalus wallet.
Mm-hmm.
And then come back to Eternal, do a restore wallet,
Mm-hmm.
import your seed phrase from Daedalus, so that'd be 24 words.
I said so. I have to put the seed phrase into Eternal.
Into Eternal wallet, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So then you would put your seed phrase in here, and that will then give you a second wallet in this list. So you'll have
Mm-hmm.
your Ledger wallet, so Eric Ledger, and then
Mm-hmm.
you have a second one for Eric Daedalus, something
Mm-hmm.
like that. And then you would go to so then you'd be seeing two wallets in here. You go to your Eric Daedalus.
Mm-hmm.
This is after you've waited 10 days or something,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll be able to then see that your Daedalus would already have fluid pool listed, delegated to it.
Mm-hmm.
By that point, your Eric Ledger will have fluid pool listed here as well. You can also see it from the summary page. You can see these three blocks. So that's listing the next three epochs. So the current one is 432, next one's 433, next one is 434. So if I had just added a new delegation, you would be seeing it in 434, but not in 433 or 432 yet.
Mm-hmm.
So we're waiting for these three to show up. Then you can actually move the ADA from your Eric Daedalus.
Mm-hmm.
So you go to Eric Daedalus, you do a send, and in fact, if you're then going to stop, pretty much, let's think. So I believe, yes, you will want to retain your Eric Daedalus wallet for a long time. You don't want to lose access to that. So I'd keep them both set up in Eternal. But if you want to secure your funds with the hardware device, you can move all the assets from your Daedalus one into Ledger, but then leave your Daedalus wallet set up, because I'm not sure when the merge staking with the A starter actually started, and you'll have accrued rewards with your Daedalus wallet up until this point. And then once you move the funds out of the Daedalus and into your Ledger, then you'll be accruing rewards, your AA token rewards, with your Ledger device.
Mm-hmm.
I think that should all work. But then when it comes to the token generation event, A starter will send your AA tokens to your Daedalus one.
Mm-hmm.
So then you would have to go into your Daedalus wallet and move the AA tokens out of there into your ledger to actually make them secured by ledger. So yeah, it's important to keep hold of a wallet that you've used in any system like this, because they will always pay out to that original wallet again rather than your new one.
Okay.
But yeah, then so you come to Eternal, you set up your ledger wallet, you stake it to Fluid Pool, wait 10 days, go into Eternal, set up your Daedalus wallet, and then you can send all the tokens from your Daedalus wallet into your ledger. And that way you'll have maximized earning all the rewards that you should be earning. And you will have quick access to your Cardano wallet again, because Daedalus is slow, whereas Eternal is really fast. And you'll also have everything protected with your hardware device. So that'll be a good process to go through.
Okay, thanks very much, Jonathan. And you recorded all this so I can look it up, listen.
Yeah, so you'll have a video recording to come back to. And the one thing I did want to mention as well was when you're moving your tokens from the Eric Daedalus into Eric Ledger, you'll come to here, you'll go to send to actually do the sending. But there's a feature in Eternal where you can do send all. So that's probably what you want to do, because you may have more tokens than just ADA in your Daedalus. I'm not sure. So you go to wallet settings. And under here you've got enable send all.
Okay.
And so I would tick that.
Yeah. To empty it properly.
And then when you do the send transaction, you'll be able to select all. So let me try this. I haven't done it since they changed user interface. No. I think it's this button here.
Add all on the right.
Yeah, so you'd say, so first you would select the wallet you're sending it to. So you can go to select account. Under here you would have listed ledger, Eric Ledger. Yeah, you click on Eric Ledger, send to account, and then under add token, you say add token, and then add all on page, and then say done. And then you would go on to click the send button, and it will then ask you to sign that transaction. And so then you would sign it with your spending passphrase.
From Daedalus.
Yeah. So when you're importing your Daedalus wallet into Eternal, it will actually ask you to create a new spending passphrase. So you can create a new one and store that in Bitwarden or whatever password safe you're using, or you can use the same one that you set up in Daedalus originally and just copy that into Eternal, because your seed phrase is the most important, and then second important is the spending passphrase. And the spending passphrase can change at any time. Your seed phrase never changes. Spending passphrase can change. So anytime you import a wallet, re-import a seed phrase, you get to create a new spending passphrase.
Okay. So don't need to save that, because it always changes.
It only changes when you import the seed phrase, and then every time you go to sign a transaction from then on, you'll use that spending passphrase. So have that saved in your Bitwarden or whatever. So you've always got access to it. But then if you ever import into another wallet, say you wanted to move from Eternal into Lace wallet, then you would import your seed phrase, create a new spending passphrase, and have that stored in Bitwarden as well. So it's good. It's a good practice always keep your old spending passphrases, because you never know how long that particular wallet is going to be used for. And you know, there are complex scenarios that can occur. So, for example, don't want to name and shame Paul, but he and I were laughing about this last week, is when you're starting out with wallets and whatnot and storing seed phrases and creating spending passphrase, it does get complex quite quickly. And so if you ever make a mistake in storing of a seed phrase, say you get the spelling wrong in a word or get the order wrong in a seed phrase when you're creating that wallet, once you've created it and set it up on a computer, then you feel safe and secure. But you actually might have made a mistake in your seed phrase, copying down your seed phrase. And so you can sign transactions with your spending passphrase. You can send the money in and out of that wallet fine, but in fact, your seed phrase might not be stored correctly. And so you never know about it until you actually come to restore that wallet later.
Oh, wow.
And so it's important to actually test that out. It's probably another step I should add into my my procedures. Is every time you create a wallet for the first time and you copy down your seed phrase, it's a good idea then to before you delete that wallet, before you start using that wallet, I would then go to another device or a new browser or another dataless version and re-import that seed phrase into that wallet, into another wallet, because then once you've done it twice, you know that you've actually got the correct copy of your seed phrase. And because the risk is that you set it up to begin with, you copy down your seed phrase, you made a mistake, you use that wallet, and then something happens on that computer. Your browser cache gets cleared out and you have to re-import that seed phrase. If that has happened and you've got the wrong seed phrase down, then you can never access those funds again. So it's important to actually test your seed phrase, make sure you've got it saved correctly. Because you can go on for months using that wallet on that computer, it never has a problem. And you only actually come across the problem when you try and re-import it later. So it's a good practice to back up your seed phrase, write it on a piece of paper, stamp it into a metal plate, however you want to store it, and then go through the practice of restoring that wallet
on a different computer
from scratch. Yeah, that's a very good thing to do. And so, yeah, that'll be today's tip: is go out, find a wallet that you have never tested, recreating a wallet from that seed phrase, and try it out just for your own sanity and sake of mind. Because once you've, so for example, and this happened to Paul and it's happened to me as well. In fact, I was worse than Paul. I completely lost access to a fund. It was only about 9 ADA, I think, but that's beside the point. When ADA hits $30, I'll be kicking myself for losing out. But still, while you've got the wallet set up and working, even if you've got a bad seed phrase, you can still send all the funds out of that wallet, because you've got the spending passphrase and you've got a functioning unlocked seed phrase. If you delete that wallet or the computer crashes or something, then that's when you actually find out you got a problem. And if you've got a bad seed phrase, you can't restore from it. If you had found out beforehand, like Paul managed to do, that his seed phrase was bad, he still had a functioning wallet on his computer. So then he was able to send all the assets out of that wallet into a new wallet, a new wallet that he created with a new seed phrase, and he was able to restore and rescue all his funds. So yeah, that's a really good practice to go through. And once you've done it with a small amount of holdings now that aren't too valuable, you'll feel much more confident as as you start to grow your holdings.
Isn't there a way that I can go back to, let's say, Ledger or Daedalus with my seed phrase to see if they're right, that I can recheck them?
Yeah, so anytime in here, you can just come back to add a wallet. So even if you have the wallet in there already, I think you can come back in and say restore wallet, 24 words, and then just type your seed phrase in.
And if they're not right, then I lose it.
Well, no, because you've already got it here,
Mhm.
if you've already imported it once, and you or you created it maybe for the first time, so you create your ledger in here. Yeah, you won't actually create a seed phrase like with 24 words if you're using the ledger. But say you created a new wallet in here, I think you can actually come in and try and restore that seed phrase without deleting the old wallet. So you can go through this process, and at the end of it, it will tell you whether that was correct or not. What I would to thoroughly test it and make sure that this is all safe and secure, I would probably do it on another
Move
browser or
move
another
the coins
device.
out first.
Yeah. So you can install Eternal on your mobile phone. It has a mobile app as well. I do it for very small wallets, for things that I might be out and about and I need to act quickly to do something on mobile. But I don't have any more than £100 worth ever on my mobile device on any wallet, just because it's a mobile device. Because if you're out and about and someone mugs you, they can force you to put your seed phrase in or whatever, and it's better not to have those details with you, and then just have your safe and secure large holdings on a hardware device, locked away in a drawer at home or something.
That's what I do. Yeah. But that's good. That's makes it a lot easier because it takes me many hours, probably half a day, to start up Daedalus, and there must be an easier way.
Yeah. And Daedalus is kind of like the Rolls Royce, the ancient Rolls Royce of Cardano. So it's the gold standard. It's a full node. It is the most secure. It is the fastest in getting transactions on chain. But the downside is that you are committing to the maintenance of this full engine, this beautiful piece of engineering, and so the cost you pay is in time and and hanging around waiting for it to have its annual service, and losing your drinking bad coffee and sitting in a waiting room while your Daedalus gets booted up. But it's powerful and important for people to be running Daedalus if they are real enthusiasts, because actually what you're doing with the Daedalus wallet is helping secure the network. So Daedalus itself contributes to checking that the blocks, there's no blocks that have been tampered with, because it's a full node, so it can actually operate almost not it's not as important as a stake pool like Fluid Pool, because it's not validating transactions, but it is verifying that the blocks are correctly formed, and its copy of the blockchain is then passed on to other nodes around the network. And that means that as long as there's one version of Daedalus in the world, if all the computers in the world got shut down, all the stake pools got shut down, if there was one version of Daedalus that was still working, then we'd still have a copy of the blockchain. Everyone will come knocking on your door, Eric, say, Eric.
Now I listen to you again, and then I see what it can do with Eternal to make it easier. But now I start. I have to go now. I start Daedalus, and then I come back. It should be running. Then I see if I have some funds there. I mean, some awards there.
Yes. And so,
okay, Jonathan, thanks very much. Will you let me or us know when more happens with A Starter?
Yes, of course. Yeah, I'm in touch with the team and pop them a message every now and then asking them on progress. But they're as much on hold really as the rest of us. Technically, they're still building, still developing, but I think things will change as we'll get the Bitcoin halving in 9 months or something, whenever it is. And there'll be a whole load of activity, a whole load of money flowing into the market, and I think that things will pick up then, and regulation will have to get their act together, and then we'll start to see tokens launching again. But at the moment, everyone, it's bad conditions still really to be launching tokens. I think now is a good time because the market's really depressed. So there's no float and no pump to benefit from, and I think that's a good time to launch a token. But yeah, certainly as when you get those indicators of the prices start to rise, and I'm sure it'll happen. So it won't be long now, but we are still in limbo, unfortunately. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jonathan.
No problem. Thanks for the questions.
Jonathan, regarding the A starter, did you say that I can verify if
Cheers, Eric.
it's
You can
taken
go.
correctly in A starter
Yes,
via a wallet?
you can, yes, and that's what one of the things I was trying to look for. So
Because I was trying, is it in the search button put A starter? Is that what I think earlier you mentioned?
yeah, I've lost the link. It's on the Discord somewhere. I'm sure there's a link to it from here.
Because I'm in internal wallet at this moment, so I'm just trying to like see just, you know, it's been like I can see some sort of A starter there somewhere, but I couldn't find anything.
Yeah, no, there's a, is it calculator? Yeah, that's one of the things that you might want to see, Eric, is that there is a an estimator on the rewards. Last time I checked, it wasn't quite working, but yes, cool. So in theory, we can come into here, put the address in, the receive address of the wallet that we have got staked to Fluid Pool. So it should work with like this receive address because it's been staked.
Mm-hmm.
Things open.
Sorry, that address that you just pasted, is it for, because I've got staking a couple of them, so it would be the same for all the staking?
Yeah, I think I believe so. So you drop the address in there. Yeah, and I think what the issue is that it's only calculating the rewards for the AA1 pool at the moment. So I think we'll only see, yeah, cheers, Eric. I think we'll only see the rewards for our AA rewards once we've got the next phase of merge staking started, which was the date that I was trying to find for egg, but I couldn't see.
Okay.
So yeah, you can go to calculator.astarter.io and have a play. I don't think it's going to work for us yet.
Okay. I see.
But I'm wanting to find that out exactly. I don't know if I'm just being obtuse and I'm not reading this correctly, but I can't see a date for the merged staking. So we've got transition, which is the phase when both are running, I think, but then there was a final one which I'm expecting to see. Merge staking, community and ecosystem incentives. I can't find the date for it. There's another little top tip. If you want to search a website on Google just showing results from that one website, then you can type in site : and then the domain. In this case, I just want to look at astarter.io, and then your search words, and it will show you results just from Astarter. So you can do that with any web domain. So if you just want to find search results from Fluid Pool, you can do sites.pool.fluid7.com, and it'll just show you Fluid Pool results rather than just searching for merge staking across the whole internet. Very handy little tip. Windows. So that's the page we've already been to. Stakings. it's not on the home page anymore. Yeah. Yeah. And then the app itself, I don't think it was there either. I'll just have to get in touch with them and ask them on the schedule. I'm sure it's in our Discord somewhere, but I can't remember where.
No worries. Yeah.
This actually is their launch pad, it looks like. That's another arm of their tech stack that they're building out. They've got the decentralized exchange for swapping. They've got their launch pad for token launches. So they'll be using this for their actual AA token launch when that's good to go. They've got their lending and borrowing platform, which they're working on next, and an Oracle, I think it was the fourth thing they're building. They've got a big tech stream that they're building out. So and they're still holding it together, still operating, still functioning, still building, releasing beta tests and stuff. So it's still all looking good. It's just being delayed, as far as I can tell. Cool. Any other questions on a startup or anything else?
I do have a question. Sorry, Jonathan. Rather than a starter, it's regarding voting now. The project selection. I know last year we just copied your projects. So this year probably you can give us a pointer again, and then just sort of like do that. Flute obviously going to be our favorite. Is it? So that's something we're thinking about. So next week you're off. So I guess do we need to before that day, or like in terms of selecting project, or do we need to select project at all, like to get some sort of any voting reward, right?
Yes, to get the rewards, you need to vote for something.
Yeah.
But voting is open for a few weeks. So let me find the where's the next? Oh, in fact, I don't have a listing of all the posts on here, do I? Interesting. No, okay. So there is a schedule somewhere that post isn't there. Maybe look at Discord again. With the dates on for voting.
I just feel I'm basically looking for like a list of projects, something like that, so that we can sort of like vote really. I mean, I'll be looking at it as well, but we just need a pointer in terms of just before the voting happens. We want to know the project first, and so we can vote on that.
Yeah, and I'll share
on your
my list of things. I'll
Catalyst,
start gathering them.
wallet on your phone anyway.
Say again, sorry.
I said, isn't it on your phone on the actual Catalyst app?
The voting dates is true. It tells you when vote opens. It's in 5 days. But I can't see when the voting actually ends. Which was the date I was looking for. No. Oh well, I'll find him. Pass it on to you.
Okay.
But yes, so in what I will be doing this time is using Lido Nation. I think I've used older tool but cleaner tool in my past ones, which is Catalyst. There, I might even have closed it down. There's another pick list tool. Do you remember the one that I always used to show you? What's the name of the team? They're called AIM, aren't they? Cardano Catalyst. So this, I think, might have been wound up as a explorer, and now I think it's just a tool for proposal assessors, which is a shame because it was a nice tool, nice and clean and slick and neat. But Live Donations tool is phenomenally rich and powerful, so I'll be using this time, and what this lets you do is actually store bookmarks on each of these. So, for example, here's one of my proposals. I can bookmark that. You can create a collection of funds. And then this will give us a sort of web page that you can send anybody to with a list of your proposal on. So that's probably what I'll do. And I have my my proposals, obviously, which I want you to put top of your list.
Obviously.
Which you can find from here easily. So that links through to them already. You can actually search. Does a global search do it, or no? I think it's just the voter tool. So you have to come to the voter tool. Come to the voter tool. Is it me or is it the website? Interesting. Is that a bad link? Might be. I have to tell Darlington about that. Darlington's the developer behind this. He's an awesome dude. So if I search for SPO Online Business Academy, then we can find it here, and I can add that to my bookmark list as well. And that one's ready, and then I've got this one too. So this one, Cardano's Headless Community DApp, is a proposal from Catalyst Swarm, which I'm one of the members of, and that gives us that will give us a single source of all the events that are going on in and around Cardano and Catalyst that other than web apps can use to pull in as a feed. So it's a community tool just to create a single source of event data, and anybody can send data into it about their events, and anybody can pull data out of it. So the plan is to have that as a means to for the information to get spread out a bit better, because at the moment you'll have an event listed on Meetup or one on the Discord server for Project Catalyst, and then one on the Catalyst Swarm website. And we just need all the information to be available everywhere that it wants to be seen, rather than just having to remember where to go to look for particular event data. So this will be a really good resource for the community. We're hoping to get some votes, so vote for that one, please. And yeah, so actually I could probably share that now, can't I? From let's add it on twice. Interesting. A little bug. Oh, can't delete it off there. Interesting. Tell Darlington about that as well. So yeah, there's a list of proposals, and so I'll do one of this with all the ones that I want to see you vote on, or what. So these are the ones I want you to vote on, and then I'll do a list of all the ones that I'm voting on, and then you can consider as well, and share that with you once I've got my act together. But yeah, I haven't done an awful lot of browsing of the proposals yet. I've seen quite a few because I was involved in Idea Fest a couple of weeks ago, which has got had some really good presenters. I was hosting in room 3, and so these proposals, I think all of them were good actually. So I'll add those to my list as well for you to then go and peruse. But yeah, there's 1,500 or so projects out there, all worthy of an assessment. So it's a lot of work to do any of that. But Paul, you were a proposal assessor this time, weren't you? So maybe you've got some you've seen that you like the look of, you can recommend to us as well. Because really the only way these get surfaced is if we do it as a crowd effort. There's no way I can read 1,500 proposals, understand them or remember them. But and we could each take 10.
I only through about 7, and that was it. That was over a day and a half.
Wow, yeah, it's time intensive, isn't it? Were there ones that you like the look of at all?
3 of them, I think 3 of them were yours, and I made comment, I think, on 2 of them. And the rest were just what took my fancy on the day.
Okay, because didn't you, when they're giving out specific lists of ones that they wanted you to review this time in the proposal assessment process? Like, I think people are getting up to as many as 30 or something.
Yeah, it was early on in the piece, and
right.
Life took over with the rest of it.
Okay, yeah. As is always the case with me as well. Hard to commit to anything and see it through if it's not already in stone on my calendar. But so yeah, I just knew I wouldn't have time to do proposal assessments, so I haven't got involved in it at all. And I think this time around they've changed it up a bit as well. So you've got proposal assessment phase now, and then you have what was your proposal assessors assessment phase, which is later, and you can actually sort of move from one group to the other, and your rewards and the sort of power you have in the system is upgraded appropriately. But you have to have done so many proposal assessments in so many funds before you can then move on to the next stage. There's all sorts of mechanisms like that going on, which I'm not fully up to date with, but I know we're in process, so it's good to see. So there's one sort of controversial thing going on at the moment in in idea scale and in proposal assessments, and that is that there are the challenges of idea scale. The challenge settings are proposed and then added in by the community, but there was one that was added in for Catalyst system improvements, and this challenge was briefed by IOG, and so their team set up this challenge basically with a budget of 3.5 million ADA, and then within that they have proposed 3 proposals, which I must say all are excellent, and I will probably be voting for all of them because I want to see them built. But they all have a budget which is kind of maxing out this fund, which basically means that the other proposals in here that are community proposals don't really have a shout, and that's what I think will happen. And then the real controversial part was actually when it came to the proposals final assessments, where they look at the proposals and do a sanity check to see if they're in the correct category, the correct challenge setting, and then move them if they think they'll be more suitable elsewhere. That didn't happen right until the very last minute for this challenge, and they've actually moved. They are actually moving the majority of the proposals which aren't IOG out into other challenges, which then further weights the likelihood of the IOG proposals getting voted in. Now, the outcome I want to be the same regardless, but the way it's gone about and the way it's come about is not ideal, and certainly we need to fix for next time, because we shouldn't have any entity, let alone even if it is IOG, being able to define a challenge, put in proposals for it, and be in charge of the who remains in that challenge or not. That needs to be in the hands of other parties. There's too much conflict of interest there for that to work for the next fund. So I imagine there'll be some changes, and we are in the era of Voltaire now, which is all about testing out our governance structures, coming up with new ways of securing and validating the system. And so a part of that Voltaire process will mean that the power is handed over from the IOG team to the community to actually be able to carry out changes like that. And I think this will happen within Catalyst as well as in the broader Cardano ecosystem. So this will change for next time, I think, but it doesn't change the fact that it is a controversial thing that's happening right now, and it's casting a bit of a shadow across the Catalyst team, which is a shame, because I think those guys are great, and they're heading towards the outcome that I want. But that's beside the point, really. We don't want to just ignore problems where we can see there definitely are problems, and conflict of influence is a big problem in any governance structure. So it needs changing, and it will be changing. But for now, it is. I think it's worth highlighting that is a problem going on, and one of the main people who is upset and vocal about it is George Lovegrove, who's someone I'm a huge fan of. He's an OG in Catalyst space. He has worked tirelessly on the Catalyst system itself, unfunded at times and funded, to bring system changes, architecture changes to Catalyst that he wants to see happen. I'm not going to find his Twitter account. There we go. And he has got proposals in the challenge setting that is being changed. So he's having his proposals moved from the Catalyst systems challenge into another one, which he's not happy about, and because he's worked so hard on bringing about category structure, which is something that's being adopted by Catalyst, in contrast to, so instead of just challenge settings, we'll actually have categories, and proposals will sit within those categories, which is a much more sensible way of doing it in my opinion as well, because it takes away the randomness of challenges each time. So fund 8, 9, 10, there's no guarantee that challenges will be matching up and actually cater for the same needs as someone proposing fund 8 may not get voted in, but people like his project and is just shy of the mark. he might want to repropose in the next fund, but there could be no challenge setting that actually fits within. And so we've got like generic categories that, or challenges that it can sit in, but really we just want categories that we always cover the broad swathe the proposals we want to see covered. So that could be systems improvement, could be governance structures, it could be onboarding of new people into Cardano. These are the sorts of things we just want to see consistent there, that people who have got proposals in can actually refine and re-propose in subsequent funds. And so he's worked on that really heavily. Really value his opinion, really value his time, and he's a good friend as well. So I the points he's raised around it are really valid. And I know he was in the town hall talking with the Catalyst team on Wednesday, so I'll catch up with him hopefully and find out what he got out of that. Can't actually see his post on the controversy now. Maybe he's removed it, but it was a contentious topic. It might have swayed already, but I know that several people have been talking about it in this last week, so I thought it was worth mentioning. Maybe he's got another one. He's also started up a new initiative called the Web3 Association, and so go and have a look at that. Maybe have a read through, find out what George is up to. He's working hard at the moment on treasury management, and Catalyst is managing a treasury to a small degree, and the Cardano Foundation are managing the whole treasury, which is Catalyst has 16 million ADA, sorry, $60 million worth of ADA each fund, and the Cardano treasury in its whole is holding over $1 million in ADA. So important to get the management of those structures right, because that's a lot of money to be mismanaging. There's a lot of responsibility in managing it correctly, so good to have people deep thinking about it and really engaged. So thank you, George, for your work. Good. Any other questions from anyone who wants to see covered? We've got a couple of minutes before 11, which is when I normally wrap up.
Could I ask, if you don't mind, you kindly showed Muesli Swap a couple of weeks ago, and you went into the settings to show about the leverage, but I didn't see how you got into the settings stage.
Okay, so go to muesliswap.com. If you go into start trading or trade at the top, then you will see, I don't know how you'll see it for the first time if you're visiting, but I have expert view on and DEX aggregator. And then if you go into limit, you can see down here you've got a list of exchanges that the order can be placed on. So that's any of these ones. If you then go to options, excuse me, you can see we've got a listing of the settings for slippage, and this is the typical slippage that we understand. Sorry, you were asking about leverage, or were you asking about slippage?
Sorry, yeah, it was about the slippage, Jonathan.
Okay, cool.
There were two parts, wasn't there?
Yeah. So this is now the only time that slippage is mentioned on this DEX, which is how it should be. So this is the one that is a setting like that functions in the same way as it does on other DEXs, on Ethereum DEXs as well as Cardano DEXs, and it's to do with how far you're willing for the price to move to make sure that you get in on a trade. So if you see that the price is now at 1.05 and you say you're happy for a 1% slippage, then you're happy for the price to move, say, to 1.010 or 1.10 or something, 1.15, 1.115, and that will be a 1% move away from the price that you wanted the trade to happen at. but you're happy with that amount of slippage, and that's to ensure they actually get in on the trade. Because if there was no slippage, then chances are the price would just move away, and your trade will never get executed. So that's our typical understanding of slippage. Previously, what they had was under this advanced configuration, they had something called slippage as well, and that was what they've now renamed as Matchmaker Premium. So it's a charge, it's a fee that's being taken rather than a variable amount that's that can come off in slippage. So your order may slip by 0%, or it might slip by anything up to a 1%. Always, doing as little slippage as possible. You're losing out or giving away as less as possible. In terms of this premium, this was actually an incentive for matchmakers. So a matchmaker in this instance is somebody who is processing orders coming from MuesliSwap and filling them on chain. And this is just to do with orders that are coming through the MuesliSwap order book. So they are, not the order book, coming through the MuesliSwap AMM, automated market maker. And that's where you've got liquidity pools, and the matchmaker then will take a fee, an optional fee of anything up to the amount that you've set on here. So the matchmaker doesn't have to process all the orders. They could just take the ones that make them the most money. And so if you want your orders to get in, you may increase that premium that they're allowed to take. And this was called slippage before, but it wasn't really slippage, because with slippage, you always pay the minimum amount. With this one, the matchmaker was entitled to take the maximum every time. So really, it's a fee, it's a charge. So that's why it's now been renamed as a premium, which I think is the correct thing to do. So all you need to do then is come in here, set it to 0, or switch and switch off. Because the controversy was that this setting seemed to appear, and for some reason on default it was set at 10%. So the matchmakers were able to take 10% of each trade margin, and that was accrued into a wallet that the matchmaker held and owned. And I think it accrued something like 2 million ADA over the time that feature actually got a user interface. 1 second. And really, as it was misnamed, really, I think that's probably the most a fair way of describing the problem. It named the wrong, a bit obfuscated in how it worked. People had to read a blog post or read the white paper to understand it technically, how it was different slippage from the understood meaning of slippage. And so there was a lot of people upset by that, and that's why you've seen sort of this big fall in price on the milk token, which is one of the MuesliSwap tokens, and on across their other tokens as well. So even the Opt one, which was just launched, which was a big airdrop that we managed to get in on for free, that token price has now started to drop back to the original launch prices again. Oops, I want to be here. I'm looking at but yeah, the Opt token did rise all the way up to 1.5, just off, and now it's back down to the price it was pretty much at the start, 0.55. So it's still money for free, but it's just would it be nice to when their reputation was highest ever up here, it'd be nice to keep that price all climb from there. But yeah, we just dropped back down to where we launched at. So that was those settings. Does that all make sense, Paul? Under this little options tab, you can jump in here.
Thanks, Jonathan. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Cool. No worries. Don't know why I went Australian on you there. You're rubbing off on me, even though you're New Zealand. Good. Unless there's any more questions, I think we can wrap it up for the day. We're not on next week, so it'll be a couple of weeks before the next one. And voting will still be open by then. So yeah, I'll get the list to you in advance, probably on the Discord server if I can. If not, then we'll just can go through that next session, and we can still do a bit of chatting about those projects and do a vote. So probably the next one will all be about Catalyst.
Great. Thank you
Cool.
so much, Nathan. We'll have a
Pleasure.
lovely holiday.
Yeah, have a fantastic time.
Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it. It should be good. Been a while since I stepped away from the computer screen, so I'm very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, don't take your mobile with you.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm a little concerned that there won't be. I haven't. It said I've got mobile
No
signal. I don't know what the Wi-Fi is like or anything, so I might be struggling. And I do need to stay online to keep my business running. So I hope there's some. But yeah,
Well, have a good time. Have a fab time.
thank you very much.
Awesome.
Good. All right.
Very best.
Have good
Cheers.
weeks. I'll
Stay
see
in.
you all soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 See you in 2 weeks.
Bye. Bye.